Hey everyone, welcome back. So let's understand the ChatGPT interface. Now to start using ChatGPT, you simply need to go to the chatgpt.com website. You can Google and land on this ChatGPT page. And here you can straight away start asking questions. Now this box here is the prompt wherein you write the prompt, and we'll understand as part of this video different prompting techniques and what all information or important details you need to remember when you are going to ask questions in the prompt. So for example, here I'm not logged in, not signed up, but in case you want to have, say for example, you want to maintain the history of your chat and make sure that you have all the relevant information that you have asked in the history, then you need to sign up so that the history can be maintained. Now here, as part of the prompt, the more clear and specific the prompt that you will write, the better answers you will get. For example, here if I say write me a poem, okay, now this is very generic prompt that I have written, write me a poem, right? So here you will see that short original poem for you, calm, reflective and little wistful. So it has written me a poem, but in case I had to look for a specific context, specific area for which I want to write a text or poem, I have to set the context. So that's where the prompting technique, or what exactly you are going to ask in the chat box or chat text box, becomes really important. So for example, I want to write a poem on the rain, right? So I'll simply say write a poem for the little girl who gets really happy in rain and starts dancing when it rains. All right, now this prompt is much more clearer and specific. So write a poem for the little girl who gets really happy in rain and starts dancing when it rains. So let me send this prompt and see what it writes. So here you'll see that here's joyful, vivid poem for the little girl who dances in the rain. Rain dancer, the sky grows grey, the clouds roll near, most folk rush off, but not her dear. So you'll see that based on the context that I have said, little girl gets really happy in rain and starts dancing when it rains. All of that has helped ChatGPT to formulate the poem specific to that context. So this is why being clear and specific in prompt or prompting becomes really important. So this is when you are asking these queries on ChatGPT without signing up, but I'll recommend you to sign up using any of your email accounts. So if you go ahead and click on sign up for free, you will be able to create login and create your account. So you'll see, you'll go to the openai.com or .openai.com and you can use any of your social media account, for example, Google, Microsoft, Apple, or use your phone. So this is pretty straightforward. I won't go into that detail. Once you're signed up, you will get into this homepage and this is how you will see. So for example, here you will see have the option in the left hand side for the new chats, search chats and library, and you will be able to close the sidebar. Okay, so you'll see that simply clicking on this sidebar, you can open and close the sidebar, and then in the drop down you have the ChatGPT, which is great for everyday tasks, which is free. But if you want to have the ChatGPT Go, then you have to upgrade. We are using the free version, so we'll just keep using the free version. The rest, everything asking and prompting is all same. You can use your microphone to also ask the question. You can dictate, right? Then you have the different GPTs option here. So if you go to the GPTs, you will see these are some of the custom versions of the ChatGPT that combine instructions, extra knowledge, and any combination of skills. For example, if you see, these are some of the custom GPTs that are available that you can explore. For example, you will have the Canva here as well that you can use. Now, what are some of the key things that you need to remember for prompting? First thing, being clear and specific. Second thing is setting up the role. So for example, if I want to ask a question for the software testing field, then I need to be specific and set the context that I am a software tester, right? So I'll say, if I have to ask something, so I'll say I am working in software testing, and if I say just send this, so you'll see that as soon as I just send that prompt, it will then set up that context, right? So are you working more on manual or automation testing, or mix of both? I can help you with things like these details, right? So as soon as you set up the role and specific context, the model, the LLM, will understand what context and what role, and if it is formulating the answers for you, it will try to formulate answers accordingly. So now if I have set the context that I work in the software testing, now if I ask what is AI, so it should include in the answers some of the examples that are specific to software testing context, right? So if I go below here, would you like me to explain AI in software testing specifically, right? So this is specific because this answer came in because I have set up the context at the top, and this is what context setting is all about. So the large language models, or ChatGPT, because it's using the GPT model, it understands, it remembers the context, and based on that it will answer the question. So here I have asked what is AI, and if I say would you like me to explain AI in software testing specifically, if I say yes, then it will understand that it remembers the previous context, right? So I said yes, and it said perfect, let's connect AI with software testing, and it explained me different usage of AI into the software testing. For example, test case generation, test automation, maintenance, defect prediction, visual testing, then help with the test planning and documentation. So all of that details are then answered. So this is basically another important aspect when you are doing prompting. Then defining the output format becomes really important as well. So for example, if I type in the query and I'll say create fake names, if I just say create fake names, so you'll see that it has created some fake names. I haven't been specific on what all details I want in the names. So being specific and defining the output format becomes important as well. So for example, I'll say create fake names with first name and last name in CSV format. Okay, so now I have been specific that I want fake names with first and last name. Okay, I'll say just first and last name, and the output should be in CSV format. So now I'm specifying the output format as well. I'm being more clear. I can also specify if I want middle name as well. So I'll say first, middle, and last name in CSV format. Because previously you can see that as soon as I said create fake names, it just created the fake names of male, female, and neutral names. So this way you will see that it has created 20 fake names, and I haven't been specific around the number of the names as well. So you can also have that specific number. So 20 fake names, first, middle, and last, and it has provided me a fake name CSV file that I can go ahead and download. So here, because I haven't been specific on the numbers, it is asking whether you want larger data set or not. So I can go ahead and download, and this is the CSV format or CSV file that if I go ahead and open, you will be able to see the 20 fake names with first, middle, and last name has been created successfully. So that's another important aspect in prompting, output format. Then the context we have already understood. Whether you are a software tester, whether you are a developer, whether you are from the business analyst, whether you are from the project management, setting up that context will help the large language model to provide answers better in that particular context. Then in case you are not getting the answers properly, using the iterative approach, right? So as we started our conversation here, so I have set up the context, I have set up my role, I am asking the questions. For example, here I have updated my query to create the fake names with first, middle, and last name in CSV format. Eventually, I forgot about the number of data that I want, but it has asked me to generate a larger data set. So iteratively, the prompting improves over the period of time. So these are some of the important aspects of prompting, and you need to be clear on context setting when you are writing the query, being clear and concise what exactly you want to achieve and what you want to get answers on. So first thing is role setting, context setting, being clear and defining the desired output format that you are looking for. So that will help you to get better answers in any of the large language model. So that's all for this video. In the next one, we'll understand another important topic of generative AI. Thank you. See you in the next one.